Okay, folks, welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond at 5:34 in the a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's kick things off with what's on deck for today. First, we're going to go over a brief conversation with regard to economic data. Not much coming out today. Then we're going to segue over and into the pre-market activity, and then we'll leave things off with members' stock chart requests, which is where we review the symbols that our gold members submit for me to review on video. But first, I want to spend a moment and talk about our sponsor, TrendSpider. TrendSpider is the next generation in charting software. You know, I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and when I'm doing analysis of all the charts that I review in preparation for Swing Trading Today and member stock chart requests, I need to be able to work efficiently, and this is a gift from heaven. I mean, here is a daily chart of Apple. And we're going to go over this chart in a little bit more detail later on as it's a member's stock chart request. But if I want to quickly see, okay, where are my support and resistance levels? I just click a button here. And automatically, with the click of a button, all of my support and resistance levels pop up. And that's on a daily basis. This is a daily chart. On a weekly basis, I want to know where my weekly support levels are. And if on a weekly basis, I want to see where my support and resistance levels are relative to a daily chart. Nobody else is going to give this to you. I click a button right here, W, and there are my weekly support and resistance levels in a click of a button. Absolutely fantastic. If you want to set up alerts, here's your dashboard, this right sidebar here. Suppose I want to set an alert for when Apple pierces this upper band of resistance here. I'm going to create an alert. When we break through, on the first 15-minute bar, clicking it now, the minute that we close above this upper band of resistance, I will be alerted either by email, text, and I do both. We'll keep this open for a few days. I am good to go. The artificial intelligence software now works for me. This is leveling the playing field between the little guy and the Wall Street thugs with their algorithms. Now you have your own algorithm. Let's get to the charts. So please take advantage of our special Contrarian Trader discount code CT25Z. That's 25% off of any one of their membership levels. Click that link below. If you watch this on YouTube, click the link above. If you're watching this on the blog, let's get to Swing Trading Today. Okay, so this morning we have the jobs openings numbers that come out at about 10 a.m. Now, normally that's not an important number, but we had a really good jobs number last week, so I think some eyes will be on it. Now, we have one of the central banksters out there today giving another speech. It shouldn't be a market mover, but you never know. Let's get to the pre-market activity. The ES mini futures, you could see that we're seeing some topping action here on these candlesticks. We did rally, of course, off of the Monday lows. The question is, can we capitalize on yesterday's rally and move higher? I spoke with members last night on Market Wrap, members that still posted on the members area. I question whether or not yesterday's rally was for real. I mean, they rallied it well off the lows of the session. They couldn't close it positive. You had light volume. To me, yesterday's price action had all the markings of the plunge protection team out there bidding the market up higher. So you could see that we are in a triangle formation, inching towards the apex of that triangle formation. If we break down below this lower band of support, at a bare minimum, we're going to retest the prior lows and quite possibly break. We're down 15 points on the morning, about a half percentage point. Let's go over to the NASDAQ. Here we have the NASDAQ 100 4-hour chart. Talk about your head fake breakout, huh? Here you had it. Here's your head fake. We broke out on the 3rd, only to fail. The question is now, do we hold this support level? Whenever you get a breakout point failure or a bull trap, like we saw on the 3rd, it's the norm to pull back and retest the lower band of support. And we did that yesterday. The question is, do we now put in another lower high as we have been doing? And do we take out the prior low, which we have been doing these past several trading days? So we are not out of the woods yet. We are down at current a little over a half percentage point, 44.75 points on the NASDAQ. So let's just be careful here. The markets are sending us a signal vis-a-vis topping tails. There are sellers above here, buyers back here, here, here. They want their money back. Taking a look at the US dollar. Let's clean this up. All right, start fresh. Okay, so the dollar is showing a bit of strength. It was down earlier. Now you can see that overnight we broke down below this lower band of support on a 4-hour basis. The question is, do we recapture this upper band of resistance in green, or do we fail and roll over to make new lower lows? Now, if the dollar breaks down here, what I'll be looking for, I'm going to go over JNUG in a little while. It's remember stock chart request. What I'm going to be looking for is a rally in gold, because you can see here that we broke out on the 6th. We're pulling back. We'll probably retest the breakout point. If the dollar breaks, I would expect at this support level here at the 1281 level, that should hold. And we'll be looking to buy gold and the gold miners on a breakout above this upper band of resistance in green. So gold is consolidating right now. The dollar under a little bit of pressure. Keep an eye on gold. Bitcoin was rallying overnight. Wow, it continued to rally. We are long of Bitcoin, and we're doing very nicely with it. We're up nearly 3.33% this morning. And I mentioned the other night, on Sunday night, that the Chinese banks had clamped down on Chinese citizens being able to withdraw dollars, US dollars, and they may be putting their yuan into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is surging this morning, and it appears as though we want to go higher. I mentioned the other night that I expected to see a 6,000 handle on Bitcoin, and it appears as though that's exactly where we're going. In fact, we almost hit it last night. What was the high? The high overnight was 58.95. So really, really good price action here on Bitcoin. Let's move over and into member stock chart request. Okay, the first chart up using TrendSpider is Apple. I have a daily chart with a weekly overlay. Let's first take a look at the chart with daily trend lines. And you can get rid of trend lines to clean things up by just simply remove all related trend lines, and it'll get rid of, in this case, the green trend lines. And that cleans it up a little bit. So what we saw, we'll get rid of the red one as well. So what we saw yesterday was a gap down and then a reversal off of the rising 20-period moving average here in black line. And we managed to close above resistance here at the 206.63 level to close at 208.48. Would I be a buyer here? No. And I'll tell you why in a moment when we go to the weekly chart. But for now, let's stay on the daily chart. Now let's bring up weekly support. And it'll show up as a dashed line. Not a solid line, but a dashed line. And there you have it. So you could see that we had broken out above this weekly resistance level back here on the 8th of April, rallied, found resistance, pulled back, found support at what was resistance was then support on April the 30th. We then rallied yet again. So why wouldn't I buy Apple right now? Let's go over to a weekly chart. So on this weekly chart, what I'm looking for here, let's take out our drawing tool. What I'm looking for is a breakout above this upper band of resistance. Now, what if we don't get a breakout above this upper band of resistance? Where might I consider buying Apple? If we break down below this support level here at the 206 level. Right here would be one option at the $200 per share level, 201 level. If that fails, right down here, 182 level. Now, if we break out, where might we rally to on Apple? I think we could rally all the way up here to the 250 level, as noted by these extrapolated out upper bands of resistance. Now, how do I validate that on a monthly basis? I simply take off the weekly time frame, throw up the monthly time frame, and there is the monthly upper band of resistance extrapolated out from prior peaks, and that coincides with the 240 level. So we have a price target here of 240 to 250 on Apple, but we're not ready to pull the trigger yet. Ideally, we get a breakout above this upper band of resistance or a pullback to either one of these two lower bands of support. So that's Apple. Moving on to our next chart, which is iRobot daily chart. We saw a move lower yesterday. We broke, let's bring up our drawing tool. We broke this lower band of support. So what this was a dead cat bounce off of this gap down. So would I be a buyer here of iRobot? We don't know yet, right? We need to know exactly where our support and resistance levels are. So let's bring up our trend lines on a daily basis first. I can see it's easily moving down here to the 98 level. And if that fails, we may have some support here at the $89 per share level. So I would not be a buyer of these shares right now. Again, two support levels, one here, 98.09, or here, 89.34 thereabouts. Now, if you wanted to create alert at these levels, you could certainly do so by right-clicking, create alert. You're good to go. Let the computer do the work for you. Go to your day job. Focus on your day job. Obsessing over the markets is probably the number one way of losing money because you trade impulsively. Let's leave off with JNUG. All right, so clearly JNUG is in. Let's get rid of these. I don't want to get rid of all the red ones. Okay, so clearly we are in a downtrend channel. Here's our lower band of the downtrend channel. Here's our upper band. We are flirting with the lower band of the downtrend channel, but honestly, what you're seeing here are topping tails on these candlesticks. Many of them, every time we rally, the rally gets sold. I'm not ready to go aggressively buying the gold miners yet. We do have a position in the gold miners. Longer term, we are bullish on the gold miners, but right now the market is sending us a signal vis-a-vis the price action that the shares are still being distributed. We did have a good day yesterday relative to the overall market, but still, as long as the dollar remains strong, I don't want to fight it by putting on a very large position. We booked our profits a while ago in the NUGT. We have begun building a new position, but only in small increments. Now, if we do continue to pull back here, we could see us hit the 578 level on JNUG. So please just be careful here. There's no reason to go buying. If you're looking for a tripwire, meaning an early warning signal that it may be okay to go back in the water on JNUG, we'll take out our drawing tool, throw up a secondary upper band of resistance. You can create an alert and get notified of when that is triggered. And if we do break out and above it, expect resistance here at 783, resistance then again after that at 819. Anything above that level will probably take us out and above these primary upper bands of resistance, and we could rally all the way up here to 10.22. That is it for this morning, folks. Everybody have a profitable trading day and be well.